What's up? Today I'm gonna be putting these Fortune Auto coilovers and whiteline tow arms into that, a 13 STI. I'm gonna start by getting the wheels off and start unbolting the suspension and get going. Alright, let me show you, now that I have the wheels off, why we're replacing these today. As you can see, I've let those leak out quite a bit, right to the point where it got kind of sketchy. And these tow arms are seized, so that's why I'm replacing those, because I had to go with a little more camber than I wanted when I did my last alignment. So now we'll be able to fix that up by changing out both those tow arms and the coilovers on the back as well. I'm going to start by taking that off and getting it sized up for the new one. So this ball joint here can be a little bit of a pain, but because I don't intend to reuse them, I'm just going to thread the nut so it's nice and flush with the top. Give it a few hits with a hammer, both on the knuckle and the top of the nut. It'll pop right out. A little bit of fire always helps those stuck bolts. And as you can see, with a little bit of fire, made short work of these. Now I'm gonna measure out the new ones, make sure they're the same size, and stick them in, and we'll get the alignment done when the coilovers are in. Now these are the block-off plates for what used to be your toe adjustment bolt, and they have to fit in this groove. You want to make sure they're flush, just like that, to make sure that it can only be adjusted from there. Otherwise that'll rattle back and forth and you'll have problems. Now, where there used to be 19 mil bolt and a 22 on the other side, is 22 on both sides. And as per Whiteline's instructions, you torque it to 100 Newton meters. And then as you can see, those plates are nice and flush. And now I'm going to remove my 17 mil, 19 mil, and 14 mil bolts for my Whiteline lower control arm. Drop that down, and then I'll be able to undo the top nuts and these rear coilovers come out. So as you can see, I got those out, which means the only thing holding in that coilover now is the top nuts. So I'm going to start loosening those off, drop this out, slam the new ones in, and go from there. So once you're in the trunk here, you'll take these 14 mils, drop out the old coilovers. As you can see, I've already got the rears out and the new ones in. Torque these ones to 30 Newton meters. At least that's the spec that I got. And then you're good to lift it up and start bolting up the bottom. Alright, so get that one back in, 38 Newton meters, 80 Newton meters, and for now we're just going to snug those up because we'll torque them to 50 Newton meters after we adjust them with the alignment. For now, we can go off and do the fronts. Well, as you can see here, I got the two bottom bolts out of the front strut. The eccentric goes at the top, the straight one goes through the bottom. They're pretty easy to remove. Just make sure you give them a twist before you pull them out, because they can kind of corrode and stick in there a little bit. Now I'm going to remove the top nuts, and this should be able to swing right out after I get this ABS line and this brake line disconnected. so for putting these in and setting them up to get them at least kind of close, what I did is I measured from the top plate here to the center of this bolt here on both in roughly the same spot to make sure that that ride height is roughly the same, because I really liked the ride height I had on these TNs before, you know, catastrophic failure. Alright, so I am torquing those to 20 Newton meters. And you gotta make sure that your camber plate allows you to only adjust camber. If it goes forward and back, or at an angle, you're adjusting your caster as well. Alright, now I got those 12 mil bolts in to hold the speed sensor and the brake line. I got the camber bolts at the top and the straight bolt at the bottom. So I can get camber adjustment here. These are all bolted in. I'm not torquing those yet to 155 Newton meters till I'm on the alignment rack. They're just snugged up for now so that they don't come loose as I pull around. Almost ready for an alignment. Alright, so I got my ride height set. Looking pretty good so far. And then I saw the alignment. Holy shit.